What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is middle of April, and I'm back at the bus. I figured I have a couple free hours. We're gonna work on this a little bit. Anyway, today's video, we are at the bus and we're gonna be working on the linkage. The one thing with the linkage, I did find an access panel in the restroom. It's just a little tight to get to, so I guess it's a good thing I'm a smaller guy and kind of fit in some smaller spaces. But we'll get that access panel pulled off. I'll show you where that's at, and I'll show you what we're working with. So give me a minute, I'll take you in the bus. All right, guys, so we are back in the bus, and I'll show you here where the access panel is in the lower level restroom, where I believe we'll be able to access the bell cranks. And again, so the issue that we're having is when I shift third to four, works great. That's on one rod cable that goes all the way to the back. The 1 to 2 linkages, though, that's where I'm having the trouble. That one's pretty seized up. It goes from the shifter, rods kind of go down the aisleway, and then it transitions to a cable, and then that goes underneath the restroom, transitions then back to a rod to get to that bell crank, and that's where I showed you guys in the last full bus video. The one that's seized is 1 to 2, so I need better access to it, and I believe the access hatch here in the bathroom will allow me to do that. But I wanted to show you guys just how tight it is in that bathroom and where that access panel is. So I'll take you back there. And again, I know my bus is a mess. Please don't judge me too hard on that. I need to spend a day cleaning it out. But here is the original restroom. As you can see, there's the floor. We got our access hatch that I've been working in, and then those other two. But I need to get like right in there, somewhere behind there. Well, on the other side of this wall, there is an access panel. So if I take you guys into the bathroom here, and again, just look how tight it is. Bring you around the corner. So there's your toilet. There's your sink, and as you can see, here's my foot. It's pretty tight in here, and I'm not a very big guy. So down here, and actually that green is not mold, that green is actually the adhesive they used for all this white vinyl that's on the wall. Now, yes, the white vinyl does have mold on it, so I won't be able to spend a whole lot of time in here. You can already hear my nose is running just a little bit. I've got allergies during the season anyway, and mold does not make it that much better. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time in here, but I at least wanted to start just to make sure I can pull that access panel off, access what I need to. So it is kind of neat still seeing all this, but that's the access panel that I'm going to be working on pulling off here. Once I have that off, I'll bring you guys back in and we'll take a look at what it looks like. Hey guys, I'm back, but I have really good news. I was able to free up gears 1 and 2, and 3 and 4 still shift, but actually 1 and 2 shifts now better than 3 and 4. But I'll show you guys what that looks like. So down here on the shifter, so we've got 1 and 2, 1 and 2. There we go, 1, 2. And if I go over to 3 and 4, full motion there of the shifter. There we go. 1 and 2. 1 and 2 is like butter. I don't have to put a whole lot of force in it. So that is really good news. But I'll take you guys around and show you what I did and just the technique I guess I used to get that freed up. I'll walk you over there and I'll show you, but the one shift line that goes underneath the bathroom door for first and second, that one was actually seized. There's a line that sits over another line. I believe it's just copper line, but the one's a hollow pipe. The other one's a little thicker, but that slides over. Well, that actually had seized onto the other pipe that it's supposed to slide over. So with a lot of croil, a lot of time, patience, and working at it, I was able to get it. When I started this video, it was roughly, probably around 5 o'clock. We're pushing 9 o'clock. It'll be that long, and all I did was work on linkage. I didn't work on anything else but that. But I'll show you guys what was seized up. So down here on the floor, remember where I showed you guys before? There we go. I showed you guys before the line that's in there that goes over the pipe. I don't know how well I can see that. But that was actually seized. So I did work that a little bit with a whole lot of croil. Actually ended up having to use a punch just to help put an impact against that. And then if you look, I've got the other access panel still open. I was able to get the other one open in the bathroom. All right, so show you guys here that access hatch in the bathroom. I've got that open. There's your one bell crank. I just got that in focus. And you can actually just barely see to the left there, the other one that's in there, but kind of neat. There's a ratchet strap I have there. That ratchet strap, I actually dangled this end, wrapped it around the bottom of the bell crank, and if you can see, there it is. But I wrapped it around the other end that pulls up. Wrapped that around the other end that pulls up, and I put some preload tension on there going up. So putting that ratchet strap down, pulling that up is as if the shifter was going into first gear. So I kept working at it here, and that needed to be pushed in that way. And then once at the shifter, once I had worked that quite a bit, just with a little bit of a punch, I didn't want to damage any of the lines that it went in and out of. But once I had some preload on there, I then went back to the shifter, went to put it in first, and almost fell into the dash because it just, once it went, and it was smooth as butter. So that was awesome. I'll still go ahead and check everything for the first and second shift linkage all the way up on the upper deck. But third and four, I still got to work on a little bit. It's a little too stiff, but it will work. I do think I've got to do some adjustments as well for third gear. If I remember back to a couple years back, when I would drive this, it would every once in a while pop out of third gear. So I think that's a shift linkage adjustment I have to do, and it did that from when I bought it. I set the shift linkage back when I reinstalled the engine. I set that all back to how it was, but put it a little bit more so when third gear gets shifted into, it's all the way in, because I think I'm not quite all the way into third gear. And that the shifter, that kind of feels like that too, because 1 goes way more forward than 3 does. And then when you go to 2, if you shift it into 4, for comparison, 4 seems to go back a little further. So I do have some linkage adjustments I have to do, and that would make sense then on why third gear would pop out if it wasn't actually fully engaging into third gear, where fourth it was. Third gear is your important gear, so there's a lot of work that happens in your third gear. So 1, 2, and 3 are your primary in-town gears. Third gear is also the one that you use primarily when you're going up a hill and down a hill to hold your speed. If I were to use fourth gear going down a hill, I would actually start picking up momentum. So third gear, I'm able to hold that in. So it is very crucial I get third gear working properly. But for now, shift linkage is working. I am super stoked about that. I was about to give up for the night, and I was like, no, we'll keep at it. We'll look at a different area. And then when I came back down to the access plate underneath the bathroom, that was definitely it. Next step is those bearings for the front axle. But for right now, I mean, I could actually start it and see if this moves. Super stoked on that. So thanks for coming along, guys. I greatly appreciate it. Glad to have you here, and thank you a ton for your support. Getting more motivated here to continue working on this, so I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Take care. Have a great evening.